Hi everyone, this is Ginger with Gingerberry Creek, and today's tutorial is going to be creating the tapered end for your jelly roll rug, just like this one here. I'm going to show you how I go about doing it. So you'll need your strip. Obviously there'd be more to it than this. You'd have all your pieces sewn together. So you'll need your end of your strip, the one that's going to start your jelly roll rug. So it may be the lighter fabric if you like that, or whatever color you're doing. And then you're going to need obviously your batting. So the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take your strip and fold it in half and iron it, just so that we can start this way. It's a cleaner way of doing it if you go ahead and iron it in half. The next thing you'll want to do is, I have the opening up at the top and my fold down at the bottom. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a ruler and I'm going to measure 6 inches over, which is the length of this ruler right here. And then I'm going to place a mark at the top of the fabric, the opening. And the next thing I'm going to do is mark down this edge, which from the folded edge up, we need to do 5/8 inch. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that edge right there, that's 5/8. And I'm going to mark this end right here. So now we have our 2 markings. The next thing you'll want to do is take your strip and we're going to cut. We're going to make a line. You can either draw the line and cut it with scissors, or you can cut it with your rotary blade and your ruler. So I have one end down here at this line that I marked, and this end over here marked. Make sure that they are lined up when you go to do your cut. Then go ahead and cut. And now we have the tapered end right here. The next thing you'll want to do is go ahead and open this up just like this. And we're going to go ahead and fold this end over 1/4 inch and iron it. So let me bring in my iron. Just the edge of my iron here. Excuse me. So I'm going to fold this end over 1/4 inch, close to it. And I'm going to iron this edge over. All right. Move this back out of the way. So now we need our batting. And what I'm going to do is bring the batting in. And I'm going to set the batting edge into that crease that we made and fold this fabric over. Just like that. And I'm going to put this down the strip. And I cut my batting strips 2 1/4, so it's slightly less. So then we can flip this over and you can mark it with a pen and then cut it. Or you can go ahead and use your rotary cutter and trim it. What I like to do is I'm going to go ahead and mark it and then trim, because I want to trim slightly inside a little bit, so it's a little bit less than the tapered end. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of mark this on this side, and then same thing for this side. I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to cut it a little bit past my traced line here. All right, I'm just going to pull this back so that I can see my lines, and I'm just going to trim inside that line. If you like your batting to be completely across the strip, then I would cut on the line. Otherwise, if you like it a little bit shorter, then I'd cut inside a little bit. So I'm just going to cut this inside a little bit. There we go. Same for this side. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to bring this back down, make sure all is good. Flip this back over. Straighten up my batting. Make sure it's in that crease right there. And now what we're going to do is we've got to fold this over and iron again. And you'll need to have some of these little quilt clips or some straight pins ready, because you want to be able to hold that down here, because it gets pretty small. Just trying to straighten that up. There we go. All right, so we need to fold in. I'm going to fold in this edge and fold in this edge to where they meet, and we're going to press. Try to get them as even as possible. I'm just going to press kind of down the taper. Okay, there we go. And now I'm going to, at this point, if you're using one of your tools to make the tube, you'll need to attach it now. This first part, you'll need to put that part on and then snap it together and pull it down just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to fold this again and press. And then we'll use some of our clips to hold it in place when we go to take it over to the sewing machine. All right. Before I put any clips on it, I'm going to go ahead and attach my other part of my tool. So this makes that secondary fold. Bring it down and then put it in on your tube here. There we go. So now what I want to do is I'm going to clip the end here and then add a couple clips just to hold this while we go to the sewing machine. All right, so that's what you should have so far. That's what it should look like. And we're going to go to the sewing machine now and stitch this tube, this tapered end. Okay, we're over at the sewing machine now, and what we're going to do is we're going to sew a straight stitch down this edge. My suggestion is, because it tapers down so small at this end, that you'll want to stitch up here and then come down, and then turn it around to start your straight stitch the other way. That's just the way I do it. I'm going to do a straight stitch, and then I'm going to turn it around and start the serpentine stitch. So you'll need to pull these out of the way, find where your taper kind of ends, which is about down here. I have my walking foot on. I have it engaged. I'm using a straight stitch for this part, which is 4.5 millimeters wide by 2.5 millimeters long. So now I'm just going to get this up underneath here. And the reason why I suggest to do this way, if you do try to start at this end and go down, I find that it just wants to sit there. It doesn't want to move, because the feed dogs, or dog feeds, or however you want to say it, and the walking foot needs something to grab a hold of. So if you do it this way, it won't bunch up and it'll actually move along your strip here. So all right, so I've got it in place. I'm going to do a 1/4 inch from that edge there. So I'm going to go ahead and engage that and start sewing. And I will be back stitching at the beginning. Okay. Now when I get down to this other end, I'm actually going to come down, stop, and then stitch down this end just to secure it. All right, so now I'm going to lift my feet, turn it, and then I'm going to make a couple of stitches and back stitch just to secure this end. All right. So here's what that part looks like. It's all tapered, nice finished end. You can trim your threads before you start again. Go ahead and trim this one. And now, if you were going to do the straight stitch, what I would do is go ahead and start it and continue on like you did here. Go ahead and do a little back stitch to hold it, and then continue on. I'm actually going to show you how to do the serpentine stitch when you're doing a tapered end. So I'm going to move these down some. I'm going to set my machine to my tapered, or my serpentine stitch. And I have mine set at 5.0 millimeters wide by 2.0 millimeters long. So now I'm just going to probably start kind of in here just a little bit. I am not going to backstitch with the Serpentine because my machine takes about 3 or 4 stitches to kind of lock it in. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to do the Serpentine down the center. So I have it there. It's ready. I'm just going to go ahead and start stitching. And as I get closer, you pull down your clover tool, straighten it up, and keep stitching. If you use a tag at on your jelly roll rugs, you can leave it blunt like this. Otherwise, when you would get to the other end, you would need to have prepped it for another tapered end. I put a tag on mine, so I leave my ends blunt and just cover it. But I would do a finished edge, which would be fold this fabric over and have the batting end and then fold it like this. That way it's finished like the other end. So just finished up here to show you. All right. So that is how I do the Serpentine. I do the straight end on the tapered part, the straight stitch, and then I do my Serpentine kind of in from those stitches a little bit. You can start further in. It doesn't matter because this usually is up underneath your rug, but that's how you do a tapered end. Or that's how I do a tapered end. So hopefully that helps you in with your jelly roll rug. I found that doing it this way worked a lot better for me. So hopefully it's helpful for you too. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you. Bye.